Hello, I'm Lumiel, and this is my Bloodborne lore through where I play through Bloodborne and we uncover the lore and take a look at it and try to piece it together in real time as it's presented through notes, dialogue, environment, and the rare cutscenes. In the previous episode, we played through, call it maybe the first half of Old Yharnam. We took down the gunner on top of the tower, and we are about to enter this building here. The path that led down here. We're about to enter this building, and just a reminder, I intend to play through what you would consider the lower area of Old Yharnam and stop just before the boss, and we'll do the boss as a separate video and kind of a self-contained short video, hopefully. And then we'll pick up on the other side there, but we will, in this episode, we will play through the lower area of Old Yharnam and kind of run back through a different way, just to show you the shortcut to the lower area. So let's continue on. First, take note of that guy up there. As you're running through, he likes to drop behind you. So when you're focused on these guys, he will come at you from behind. Alright, I was just adjusting my volume there. We'll take care of the big guy first, unless the little guy really jumps in like that. So the main path continues on this way. There is, as you can see, a side a side path here. Which will allow us to drop down. I will come back to this after we've kind of dealt with this lower area. But let's take a look with the monocular. And we see a large beast hanging in the center. We see people beasts gathering around it. And we hear that awful sound. So, there is an upper kind of rafter area here that we will deal with once this building is more or less empty. So, let's go down the main path. So let's just stop here for a second. Huh. Okay. I misremembered. There it is. I thought there were more ambushes than there are, apparently, so let's... Maybe it's after he screams. And if not, we'll just head up, pick up this item that we walked past. There they are. Alright, let's pick up the item. So, some more antidotes. Another guy on the stairs there about to try to head back, but... Alright, so in here where we dealt with this guy, gives us another view of this room. And then there's an item down here. The footsteps can be deceiving because I keep thinking someone's behind me, but it's really the footsteps from down here, those guys. So, I want to look with the monocular again. There is a large beast really hung up and splayed out in the center of this hall, this building. Okay, So we see another item on this area we can't get to, but we could have dropped down from where we were. And we'll continue down into the center of the room, the main part. So, lots of guys in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can see. One of those 4s on the... Just head to the other side of the room. This guy is here, but there are more behind you. So, even as you kind of get their attention, don't let them sneak up on you. Just keep moving. And as each gets drawn towards you, deal with them. I'm out of stamina. Alright. It's nice of him to just wait there for us. Alright, so we got most of them, if not all of them. And you hear the horrific sound is gone. Seemed to be a ritual that they were performing around this beast. Note the splayed out nature, the loose skin dangling. I'm not just saying that to draw your attention to the grotesque, but it's chained up feet and really splayed out. We might see something similar later. Let's see what's back here. Some more Madman's Knowledge. Madman's Knowledge gives us insight. Insight related to knowledge of the Great Ones. And as I mentioned before, allowed us to see the doll not as a stationary doll, but as a moving, talking, living thing. And the pool of blood here as well. So they were performing some ritual around this hung up beast. And remember, this whole town was burnt and then raided by hunters to try to kill what they hadn't burnt. So we see an altar here and ritual blood on top of the altar. This is the first time we've seen ritual blood, so I will go ahead and take a look at it. It's a material used in a holy chalice ritual. One of the basic ingredients used to satiate a holy chalice is this incoagulable blood, so it doesn't coagulate. When all is melted in blood, all is reborn. So this is used in a holy chalice ritual, and we were told by who was it that told us? Gehrman told us that Old Yharnam is a place where we would find the chalice necessary for the holy chalice ritual, and that they worshipped it here. So we're seeing signs of rituals being performed and the materials used to perform them. See if we can make out anything interesting here. Not overly. This generally looks like somebody embracing something. Lots of maybe folds like a cloak, but it also just looks like a general glob. So, but there was an altar in a great hall with a ritual being performed around the giant splayed beast. Alright, so there's a path, here's a path. This is generally where we came from. I say generally because kind of up that way, I think, is where we came from. And I think this ladder may prove that supposition. So we went in that great building, and then remember we were up in the rafters and went down to a second floor. So there's where we went into the building, and this takes us back where we were. So this shortcut allows you to bypass the whole building. And something easy to miss is the main path forward. So I've come out of there and ran over here because you see the light, and like I said, FromSoft likes to use the light to guide you to where you're going. There's no light here. So even though it seems obvious, I have ran past this not knowing where to go before. So let's go deal with birds. Lots of birds. Oh, I thought it'd be a pebble that they dropped. So we can't really see much out this way, except kind of a cavern around this town. I said it was at the bottom of a valley, more or less. And some more bloodstone shards. And then the path that I was mentioning is the path we want to take that leads to lower. We're kind of continually moving down in Old Yharnam. Now anytime you see these smoke piles, watch out. There's almost always an ambush waiting for us. So just listen, you'll hear footsteps, and you'll usually see these little guys running at you. Again, the torch really helps because they ran at me, but the fire scares them, so. I don't think the torch allowed me to get any rally. It's kind of like, so rally being the health that's restored when after you've been hit. From doing an attack, but I think that's because in this case it was more or less like firing a gun. So we see a big wolf over there. I'm thinking we missed one of those crawling horrendous little creatures, but I may be misremembering. So the werewolf is on patrol, a couple of them. Obviously, we'll want to pull one at a time, if possible. And I do still have the pebbles in here. Let's go ahead and hang back until it looks like they've split up a little bit. Okay, that one sees us. Can we get just him? Nice. Okay. Beast blood pellet is new, so we will take a look at that after I deal with this guy. Rawr. Okay, so I think those are the only two walking around. If I'm wrong, so be it, but let's take a look at the beast blood pellet. So it's a giant medicinal pellet that grants short-lived beasthood. So large medicinal pellets, supposedly formed of coagulated beast blood, banned by the Healing Church due to their unclear origin. That's kind of messed up. So it's just these little tiny clumps of what they think is probably blood from a beast that has dried up and formed into balls, and people eat it, and it grants a short burst or spurt of beasthood. Ripping apart the flesh of one's enemies and being rained upon by their splattering blood invigorates one's sense of beasthood, feeding strength and euphoric feeling alike. So, I have not actually used them too much, but I believe it makes you beast-like, and as long as you keep attacking, it kind of keeps you in that mode. I will say at some point we will kind of do a video maybe where we try out the different weapons that we haven't used yet, and the items such as that we haven't used. So here's a door, it won't open. And here's an item. So our path towards the lower part of Old Yharnam continues this way. You definitely feel the valleyness. Not that that's a word, but you feel so much lower than when you came from up there. And the sound design, I think, does that, because that echo of the wind presents that. Alright, so... Oh my. That is actually... I said it sarcastically, but when you don't know that's coming, that scares the crap out of you. So, just always stay on your tiptoes with your ready to roll. So, for example, in cases like that, where you're not meant to see it because it's obscured by this hanging body, and you're just wanting to see where this path leads, and you come in here and go, ooh, a shiny object. And that will be waiting for you when you come back out, or could come around the corner to get you. So, some more beast blood pellets. Probably coagulated blood that was affected with either beasthood, as they said, or ashen blood. So here's the door he burst through. And I do love their design. So he bursts through a door, and we deal with them, and they make sure you see a shiny object so you know you can go in there. And I can hear. There he is. And let's continue up the main path. Of course, like I said, we've been going down, further down. So I can tell you just from the direction we're moving that this is no longer the main path. At any point that you're going up, you're going back. But we haven't been this way, so let's go up. Like I said, check your corners and watch your back. I thought I saw somebody walk by. I must have been wrong. Okay. Then here's a door. We'll deal with that in a second. But here's an item. Fire paper, which we have seen before. The lore on that was that it lights your weapon on fire, and beasts don't like that. So if we come out here, this may look a little familiar from last episode. When we first came to Old Yharnam, we fell down from up there, but at that point this door was shut, and our only path was moving back up here and taking this ladder to the top of Old Yharnam, back to the entrance. So if something should happen and you die on your at any point in lower part of Old Yharnam or to the boss, this is a quick shortcut that As long as you don't accidentally walk outside. You just take this all the way, and now you're down in lower Old Yharnam and just have to deal with a few werewolves. So, again, I said anytime you see the smoke obscuring your view, be paranoid. And I stand by that. And then this feels oddly empty. I'm not checking the doors because there isn't a reason to check the doors. They don't open. Come on. Okay. Watch out once he gets some hits on. Make sure that you heal up. Because their jump really has more forward momentum than you may think. So I'm going to creep up. Well, I said creep, but then I start running. Because I am looking for something that I'm afraid will run away. There he is. Alright. So let's just make sure that I didn't run past anything of note. There was an item back there that you may not see. Unless you were going the wrong way. We're getting very near the boss area, so I just wanted to look around again. Another item. The statues are pretty much the same statues we saw in Central Yharnam. So let's see what this is. Quicksilver bullets. Okay. I didn't even know this drop was here, but that drops you on that item that we picked up where there was a werewolf ambush right outside. It's not like it's a very useful drop, but Bold Hunter's Mark, we got a couple of those. Lots of statues. And then look at that. We'll find out what that is in a second. Certainly looks imposing, doesn't it? Alright, so let me just do a pass, make sure that we deal with any ambushes before I stop to really look at item descriptions or unique landmarks. See? They're sneaky. Headphones really do help because I don't know how well their footsteps are conveyed through other speakers, but I can hear just when they start walking. Alright, one more item and then I think we're... Do not do that, although it didn't hurt me too bad, but it's a dumb move. Alright, so... Consume insight to ring and call to old hunters for help. One of the resonating bells that cross the gaps of worlds. This bell is cracked and stained with the blood of beasts. A human may expend insight, which I only have 2 of, because we spent some of it already, to ring this uncanny bell. The old hunters who have long passed from the dream, but cannot forget the feeling of the hunt, rely upon messengers to relay their thoughts. Ring the bell at their side, and they are certain to give a listen. For the night of the hunt is long and unchanging. And then we had the regular beckoning bell And then this obviously is related to that. So this allows us to summon Alfred, which if I rang this, it would expend one of my insight, and it would bring him to my world, and then me and Alfred would be able to deal with whatever is in there. So I will do that, because my main intent here is not to prove how good I am at bosses, because I'm not very good, but it is to explore lore, and I do think it's interesting that we agreed to participate in jolly cooperation with Alfred, who is Logarius's student, and they hunt vile bloods, but he has agreed to cooperate and help us. So they are church hunters. You may recall that I found him along the path leading to Old Yharnam. So that is where I'm going to leave it. I will show you the arena. I don't want to step in there and start it, but that is what we're going to fight. And the reason I called attention to what was hung up in that large hall where the ritual is being performed is because it looks quite a bit like this, which seems to have skin draped over whatever large beast it is. So that is where I will end this episode, and we will pick up and do the boss fight in the next episode. So again, thank you for watching.